Today we've got none other than one of my favorite people on the internet, Dr. Gilles Carvalho. What's going on, brother?
Doing great. Thanks for having me again.
MD, what does that stand for?
MD, some people say it's a malpractice doctor.
Yeah.
The other acronyms.
That's at least they have a sense of humor. That's some good bedside manner you got there. So I wanted to ask you about eggs, because everybody's been talking about eggs recently. There's a big kerfuffle in the vegan community of whether or not eggs are okay, cruelty-wise and everything, but dietary cholesterol and the cholesterol that's actually in your heart are two different things. So can you give me the skinny on eggs?
Yeah, the bottom line is it depends on your genetics. So you'll find all kinds of simplistic ideas about eggs out there. Most of them are, at best, they're partly correct and partly incorrect. So if you look at the vegan club, you'll typically see the oversimplification that eggs are this thing that will jack up your cholesterol, will cause heart disease, and nobody should have them. That's pretty wild oversimplification. Then another current of thought came up, like a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe became popular on the internet, that dietary cholesterol has no effect on your serum cholesterol. This started being repeated. It's incorrect also. So it has all of these things, all of these simplistic ideas have a nugget of truth, right? So you can find a nugget of truth, but then you find all these inaccuracies. Basically, the bottom line is dietary cholesterol for most people, and if you average a population, has a modest effect on serum cholesterol, on cholesterol in your blood. So if you eat an egg or two a day, you might see it, and you go from no cholesterol in your diet to maybe an egg or two worth, you might see maybe 10 points in your LDL cholesterol of difference, right? So you might go from 80 to 90 or whatever, wherever you're, depending on your baseline. So that's the average, and that's what most people will see, something in that range. The problem is it varies depending on genetics. So some people are what we call hypoabsorbers. So they don't absorb a lot of dietary cholesterol. So those people can see a smaller effect, sometimes maybe even no effect. So you can have eggs galore and they don't affect your serum cholesterol much. Then that's about maybe 20 to 30% of the population. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the hyperabsorbers. So those people absorb a lot. So those people can see large differences in their serum cholesterol depending on their intake of cholesterol. So adding a couple eggs or removing a couple eggs, you can see dozens of points, you know, a substantial difference in your cholesterol level. So the bottom line is, and there's some fancy tests out there to test cholesterol absorption, but I think the easiest way, it's a little kind of quick and dirty, but the easiest way is try whatever your diet is. If you want to cut back for a couple weeks and then measure your cholesterol before and after, and cut maybe a couple eggs or something a day, and you'll get a sense of where you are. There's some caveats to that approach. It's a very quick and dirty, but
so you said 30% are all right, but then what percent of them are hyperabsorbers?
Roughly the same, 20 to 30.
Wow. Now, is there any correlation between races or genders or anything? I
don't know. I don't know if it breaks down by race or gender. I haven't seen that.
That'd be interesting.
It's possible. Usually when you have these genetic things, you do see some difference between different races, but I don't remember off the top of my head what that would be.
Yeah, because you have these blue zones, right, where it just so happens the geographic location of these people, there's some kind of trend that we're not seeing about, what is it, longevity in the blue zone. So I was thinking geography plays some kind of role, or I don't know. So we're going to, and here's the thing is, if you win big here, you can walk away with either a fine set of stainless steel cookware, or you can get the all expenses paid trip to Delaware, let's say. Both equally,
third place is your third place is your fired. Is that the line?
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be pretty easy, but if you win big, you know, you can come back next time and go for double money. So which vitamin is produced by the body when exposed to sunlight?
D.
Vitamin D, correct. Ding, 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 ding. That is 100 points. Dr. Sheila is pulling out to an insurmountable lead.
Am I the only one on the spotlight?
Oh, we got 5. We have 5 people in the chat. We can actually have them answer too. If you guys want to answer, but you got to be fast, okay? Because there's a 40-second delay, and Dr. Sheila he'll smoke you.
I don't know about that. I might.
All right, we'll put you guys up in the chat. Usually there's more people.
I might embarrass myself.
That's fine. What nutrient is the primary source of energy for the body?
Primary source of energy?
What nutrient is the primary source of energy for the body?
I'm guessing the AI is going to say carbohydrate, but that's pretty debatable. Depends. Primary source of energy for the body.
Yeah. Well, that is correct according to the AI. But what would you say? Right. What's the equivocation there?
Well, half the internet will have a fit if you say that that's the case. The low carb community will say that.
We don't like them anyway. Come on.
No, it depends on which diet, what food you're eating, right? You can be on a diet with the low carbohydrate. So the question's a little poorly formulated, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, lentils are not having very much carbohydrates, but they got a lot of protein. But you could live off that for an extended period of time.
Yeah, those they have decent amount of carbohydrate. Those plant sources of protein.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing they have more carb than protein. Almost certainly.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder. What do you think is the premier plant-based protein source known to man? What do you think it is?
By premier, you mean the one that's the most concentrated?
The top, most delicious and most nutritious.
Delicious is subjective, right? I don't know. I like lentils a lot. I like lentil soup and all that stuff. I love lentils. But there are things that are much more concentrated in protein, like seitan, for example, is like 70-something% protein.
Yeah. What about tempeh?
Tempeh solid. Yep. I like tempeh.
See, that's what I've discovered as being my favorite thing because it's nutty and it's oaky.
I like tempeh.
Oh, fuck.
You can have it different flavors. There's like smoked tempeh and tempeh with different varieties. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I had me some black bean tempeh. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I like black beans also. Black bean soup.
Oh, you're singing my song. Oh, all right. Next question here? You're doing pretty good. We'll give you 200 points. You're pulling out. You're on your way to Delaware, my friend.
Goal. How many points are we shooting for?
Well, to get to Delaware, let's see, 500 points, let's say.
Okay.
And then you could go, if you go to 10, you can get the stainless steel cookware.
Oh, okay.
All right. I don't really have any prizes, man.
Should we let the audience go first before I spoil it? Or maybe I'll get it wrong, but just before
we can give them 40 seconds. They got a 40-second delay. Maybe there's not a lot of people. Usually there's about 20 people today. There's only about 4 or 5. So
the next one is for you then.
All right. I'll do my best. I got the answer right in front of me. Which essential mineral is crucial for proper thyroid function? Now, I actually knew this, okay? And you'll actually get what they call a goiter if you don't get enough of this stuff. And you'll swell up like a bullfrog. I'll have to say, and I'm not sure, but I think it's iodine. Is that correct?
Yeah. And what are some of the main sources of iodine for the typical Westerner?
Well, you're asking me now. Okay, let me see if I can get some points on the board. I would say salt that's been iodized. They would put the iodine in the salt. But I think it's hard to find, right? Is it in trace amounts in broccoli or something like this, or is it?
The main sources, as far as I remember, that Westerners like U.S. people get their iodine from is salt.
Okay.
Both added salt and like ultra processed foods because they have salt added, right? And then dairy. Dairy is another common source of milk in particular.
I did not know
that. As far as I remember, not because the milk contains iodine naturally, but because they clean the vats with iodine to sterilize the vats.
Oh, wow.
That then gets into the milk.
It's not even like of consequence. Well, And that what's the thing with B12 too? Because B12, I'm a vegan. B12 is a big deal. They can actually, what in supplement form, usually it's done from a bacterial fermentation. But in animals, what's the deal? Do they have it from the dirt, or is it do they get shots? What's the story with B12?
Well, it depends on the animal, right? So some animals have bacteria in their gut that produce B12. I don't know if that's enough. Like cows have, ruminants have some bacteria in there that produce B12. I don't know if that's enough for their needs. I don't even know if it's, we actually have bacteria that produce B12, but it's too far down our gut. It's in the colon mostly. So it's past our absorption.
Okay.
At least like the bulk of the absorption. So it doesn't help anymore. But some of those animals, I think with ruminants, they produce their own B12 through the bacteria. Other animals, it depends on what they eat. But what you're referring to is that because they're raised in artificial conditions, so these cows that are fed grain and things like that, and they are on antibiotics, right? Because of the conditions they live in, to prevent infection, they're all fed food in their mash, and their food contains antibiotics. So it kills the bacteria in their gut. So then they get these shots of B12, a supplement of B12 to fill that in.
Sounds totally normal and efficient way to do things, right? Shoot yourself in the foot and then keep putting bandages on it. Yeah. That's totally fascinating. Yeah. And the other thing is like B12, I think there's this argument that humans evolved eating meat. And I think that's probably true. And they probably got some B12 from the meat during the development process of the brain. But at the same time, bacteria, if you drink puddle water, you run the risk of getting yourself a nice dose of B12. Isn't that right?
From what I've seen, the amounts are very small. They probably wouldn't suffice. Just the B12 in the water or on plants in the dirt. From what I've seen in terms of quantification, it seems like that might not be enough. But throughout evolution, we pretty much always would have some kind of animal product, either some animal or eggs or some of these things. Although eggs and milk, interestingly, are not great sources of B12. You need to eat a lot of to get substantial amounts of B12. But the meat of animals, which pretty much our ancestors, at least if they could get it to an animal, they would eat it.
Yeah. That's the same with chimps and bonobos and stuff. Is like they love meat, but they can hardly get their hands on it, so they end up 99% plant-based.
Yeah, it is harder to find, but yeah, when you can make tools, it gets easier.
Yeah.
When you can talk and strategize.
Yeah. We should go get ourselves some hamburgers, man. Yeah, you're right. So what is the term for energy content of food expressed in units? You got this. Come on.
Well, they're just referring to calories, right? Or kilocalories.
Oh, you got it. This is for
a little bit. Yeah,
it's for cakewalk. Next time I'll say advanced, and maybe I'll get something more intense. You come back next time for big.
All right, next time will crush me.
What type of fat is considered the most harmful to cardiovascular health?
Trans fats.
And why is that?
Good question. It's not entirely understood, but both raises ApoB cholesterol levels and ApoB, these atherogenic lipoproteins. It also seems to have a pro-inflammatory effect. So there might be multiple explanations there.
Interesting. Still waiting to find out. Okay.
Well, was I right? Did it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got 400 points. You are on your way to Delaware, my friend.
Only 4 so far? I thought it was like 6 or 7.
Well, you started asking me questions, and now I'm on the board with 200. I'm right behind you now. All right. Well, what is the main protein found in milk?
Casein, right?
That's it. That's the one that we're not sure. Is it healthy? Is it not healthy? Is there problems with hormone imbalance coming from casein? What's the deal with casein?
I haven't seen anything compelling. I know there's a whole story coming mostly from mouse work about protein being tumorigenic, inducing tumor growth.
Okay.
But this is mostly mouse work. So, and there's all kinds of, or mouse or rat, one of these rodents. And basically the experiment was these mice have tumors, and then you up the casein and the tumor grows faster, and you switch and you lower the casein and the tumor grows slower. But as usual with animal research, there you got to account for the evolutionary distance, and also very important, the conditions in which the experiment is being conducted. So these aren't, I don't think these are natural tumors. You basically induce the tumor, and then what you're doing with the protein, you're feeding the tumor growth that's already there. And also I think the casein, the ranges of protein are unnatural for a rodent. I think they were getting it to levels that are far above what a rodent would normally get. I'm trying to remember the caveats of that experiment, but it's something that's from like maybe 20 or 30 years ago.
And that's another way that people fudge the methodology and stuff, is by inducing tumors before the thing is even begun. Yeah. It's crazy.
The range is a big one. In the mouse research and animal research, often the amount of the compound that is given is like orders of magnitude higher than what we would be getting from a normal food.
Yeah.
So this is where a lot of this stuff, this causes cancer. Okay, in what concentration? And if it's 1,000 times more than you would get from whatever food, it's not that relevant.
Yeah,
so we do this a lot with artificial sweeteners and all this stuff. Aspartame causes cancer. Okay, yeah, if you concentrate it to where you would have to have 100 cans of soda a day, yeah.
Just eating it by the spoonful. And the thing about animals too is we test on them ethically because they're lower and different from us, but we also test on them because they're similar to us. And even then it's like 99% of the drugs that we test on animals end up being there's no efficacy in human. You've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So one more question before we get the hell out of here, but you have to you got to come back and do this again. We're doing the new live thing. It's really fun. We do the trivia.
Sounds good.
After you get back from Delaware, of course.
Uh-huh.
All right. Last question. What is the
to Delaware, right?
Yeah.
This is wait, but I definitely got 5 right already.
No, you already got 5. Here, I got it right there. You got 5.
So
you're doing good.
Under the belt already.
Yeah. Pack your bags. Pack your bags. What is the process called when the body breaks down stored fat for energy? I never heard of this.
Lipolysis.
That seems to be it. Yeah. What is that?
Just means breaking down fat. Lysis is kind of degrading or breaking down. So yeah, there's lipogenesis and lipolysis. Just like there's gluconeogenesis and glycolysis. With every one of these nutrients, your body can put these building blocks together or take them apart.
The body is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's to Dr. Gilles Carvalho.
Is that your sponsor, the beer?
Yeah. Brought to you by a good German local beer. Actually, I tore the label off, but bio, look, it's bio, it's organic. So you got to get the organic stuff, guys. Go regional, go organic, go vegan if you got the gumption. But yeah, we'll come back and do it again, and I'll email you when this whole thing gets cut up, and I'll make a nice interview with us all together and stuff.
Sounds good.
Where can people find you?
The easiest is YouTube. Nutrition Made Simple.
Nutrition Made Simple.
That's the easiest.
You are a gem and a wonderful human being, and I can't wait to have you back. And pack your bags because you're on your way to Delaware, okay?
Delaware, here we come. What happens in Delaware stays in Delaware. Let's go.
I don't know what they have there. You could see the wonderful, beautiful City Hall. I really don't know. All right.
I heard the airport lounge is beautiful.
Yeah, go to the Walmart. It's one of the best in the state. I don't know.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be in touch. See you soon, all right? Bye-bye.